when the COVID vaccines rolled out, I started looking at VAERS, the Vaccine Adverse Events Reporting System, and the European reporting system, and seeing just all these, reports just rolling in. And that made me question what was going on here. So, one thing led to another, and here I am. So the study that we just released as a preprint, so it's not peer reviewed yet. It was released on medRxiv, and it is a study of fetal losses, or could call them pregnancy losses, looking at women vaccinated for COVID-19 and whether or not getting vaccinated for COVID-19 during pregnancy increases the rate of fetal loss. And we found that, yes, there is a higher than expected number of pregnancy losses that are associated with vaccination in early pregnancy, particularly the first trimester. And we specifically look at weeks 8 to 13. I can tell you why if you want to know. And what we find is that women who received dose 1 of the mRNA COVID vaccine, particularly Pfizer, because that was what was given in Israel, women vaccinated for COVID in the first trimester, weeks 8 to 13, had 4 additional fetal losses. Like, they eventually lost their pregnancy. So there were 4 additional losses per 100 women who were vaccinated during that period of pregnancy. So that's a huge increase, 4 out of 100. So instead of here, I'll show you a quick visual. Essentially, we were expecting to see 9 fetal losses per 100 women who received the first dose, and what we saw is that there were 13 total, or 4 additional fetal losses that were actually observed in those women. And we did a similar analysis for dose 2, and the number is very similar because most of the women who went on to get dose 1 also got dose 2, and so it's sort of the same difference. And then we also looked at dose 3, and there we saw a slightly smaller difference. We saw an increase of 2. So instead of 10 expected fetal losses, we observed 12 fetal losses per 100 women. So these numbers are quite telling, and the story even gets worse because these additional fetal losses didn't occur. Let's put it differently. These fetal losses occurred throughout pregnancy, and so some of them occurred close to the time of vaccination, but over half of them occurred after week 19. Okay, so starting from week 20, over half of this additional 4 occurred later in pregnancy. So essentially, we're talking stillbirths. So a lot of this higher than expected number is happening later in pregnancy, what are called stillbirths. And almost half of that difference occurred starting at week 25. And that's important because the measure that we use is pregnancy loss. So it could include a miscarriage. It could include a stillbirth. It could include an induced abortion for medical reasons or for elective, right? Women just deciding that she doesn't want to carry. And there's a reason we do that I won't get into, but when you look at later fetal losses, what you can say for certain is that was not an elective choice of the women. In Israel, it's very, very rare to have an elective abortion, even after week 14, especially after week 20. But from week 25 onwards, it's simply there's a regulation, there's a law against it. Like, you can't just get an elective abortion from week 25. So we're able to say with a great deal of certainty that most of this difference cannot be attributed to an elective choice of women, which means that it must be driven by biological reasons. What those reasons are, we don't know. We can't tell from our study. But there are indications. There was a study actually that just came out earlier this year showing that mRNA vaccines cross through the placenta and can cause all kinds of issues with the reproductive health of a baby's development.
If you like this video, check out the full interview. Also, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you get notified every time a new video is uploaded. Thanks for watching.